Oh boy, doing this with a mask on is harder than it seems. Anyway, epilogue. A few days later, the chase ends. I was feeling kind of like... a few days after the chase ends, I was feeling like an empty husk. I mean, it had been a while since I'd been through anything like that. It wasn't just because it felt nostalgic, but, well, I remembered a lot of different things, and how I didn't understand a lot of stuff back then.
Your pitching sucks. Stop throwing like that.
My pitching doesn't suck. Your catching sucks. Don't think you're all cool just because you got a good hit the other day.
What did you say?
As I'm watching the kids practice, I'm not particularly paying much attention. Just as when I think things are getting peaceful, a squabble starts up. Well, it's a coach's job to settle things like this.
Hey, break it up. What's going on here?
Stay out of this, Junpei.
Coach Junpei. Right? So, what's up?
He blames me because he can't catch.
It's because you got no control. Everybody knows it.
The other kids all stop practicing and gather around the argument. These kids have way too much energy to get into fights frequently, so I need to mediate this conflict in a mature, dignified way in order to be a good example. Children pick up on that kind of stuff, you know, and you're the worst possible person for that sort of thing.
Hey, listen up. The most important thing in baseball is teamwork. No matter how good you might be alone, you'll never win a game by yourself. You can't play baseball if you're the only one on the field, right?
Of course not.
Right, well, that's just common sense. But if you keep putting the blame on other people, you're gonna end up all alone eventually. If you think the pitcher has no control, then you gotta try to work hard to catch anything, no matter what he throws your way. And if you think the catcher blows meaty chunks, try throwing balls that even the worst catcher can grab. If you both practice together like that, then everyone gets better and the entire team gets stronger. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that was awesome. Go me! I wonder if these guys will ever look back on these days and think think that they never understood what was going on. I bet they will, just like me. I gave them a good talking to, and since this was a great place to end for today, I called today's practice over. As everyone says goodbye, it goes their separate ways. One of the kids doesn't leave. Is that Goro? He looks more humble than usual. Noticing slight changes in your players is one of the things that makes a great coach.
Hey, aren't you going home?
Junpei, do you have a girlfriend?
What? What's he asking me that for all of a sudden? Sheesh, kids these days.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Hey, what's with the attitude? That's really rude, you know.
There's a girl I like, but she's gonna move away. I didn't know, and we got in a fight.
Fight?
I thought we'd make up like we always do. Even when we get in fights, things always go back to normal in a few days. But when I heard she was transferring to another school, I got worried about what would happen if I couldn't make up with her.
Well, the answer here is obvious. You have to nut up and apologize to her. It doesn't matter if it's your fault or not. That'll fix everything.
That's so lame. I can't do that.
Lame, not lame. Is that your problem here? This isn't the time to care about looking cool. Not when it involves something you care about. If you and her end up going separate ways without telling her how you really feel, you're gonna regret it for a long, long time.
Well, I'll be. He did grow up.
But what if we get in another fight?
Goro drops his eyes again. Well, that's this kid's bad habit. He acts all tough, but when things matter most, his timid side comes out. Aren't you the team's cleanup hitter? You gotta strengthen your resolve. I guess I better do the coach thing and encourage him. But the way Goro's hanging his head makes me a little uncomfortable deep down. Why? Because my own words are coming back to haunt me. Regretting not telling someone your feelings before you have to part, huh? Yeah. That grand slam I whacked in my dream, I can feel it in my hands. And I got up on the platform for the MVP interview, but that time it ended before I could say it. But this time, when I still haven't answered this question, Goro peers into my face. Oh well, guess I need to strengthen my own resolve. I look at the empty outfield and picture myself in that dream.
You get a hit, you'll be a hero. Are you gonna try for a grand slam?
Goro seems dazed for a second at my sudden enthusiasm, but that his clouded face quickly breaks out into a bright smile, and he is his old tough self again.
All right, I'll go do it.
Goro's going for a grand slam with his girlfriend, huh? I don't know if I should call it optimistic or if he doesn't really know what he's talking about, but at least it looks like I got through to him. In which case, I think it's time the ace slugger swings for the fences too.
All right.
That run. After high-fiving Goro, I grab my stuff and run for the station. This time, I won't oversleep. The view from the pier matches an old memory of mine. The color of the sky, the ocean, the sound of the waves. This is the first time in years I've come back to this place.
Whoa, this brings back memories. How long has it been since we were here? We were second years in high school, wasn't it?
It would be 3 years ago. It was the summer of 2009.
Only 3 years, huh? It feels more like 10.
A lot has happened since then.
Also, that's a rocking outfit she's wearing.
I see. Now that I think about it, you haven't returned to Yakushima since then either.
We leave the beach and follow the woodland path. The virgin forest is filled with lush greenery, and the air is cool and clean. We're headed to the ergonomics research lab.
You want to go to Yakushima?
Yes, if possible, that is.
I don't believe there's anything left there aside from warehouses, though.
Yes, I understand that.
I guess I have no intention of preventing you from going there. But may I ask why?
I have wanted to go back for a while now. That was when my sister's case began, so I thought that now would be a good opportunity. I wanted to see for myself what led to my birth.
I think it's a good idea.
Yukari-san.
Isn't it normal to want to know about things like that? We're talking about your roots here.
I see.
Actually, I was just thinking about taking a vacation too. That battle from the other day was a lot more grueling than I imagined it would be.
As Yukari-san said, it truly was a fierce battle. Because I was severely damaged, my maintenance had to go on for a good deal longer than usual, and I spent a long time in my repair bay. That's why I've been longing to feel the light of the sun. I'm unsure if Yukari-san knows that I feel this way, but she smiles.
Hey, Agus, why don't we go together? And it'd be nice if we could stay at your summer house, like we went to before, Mitsuru-senpai.
Hold on. No particular reason at all. Though Mitsuru smiles knowingly, she readily agrees to our
The
request.
last time we lived together was back when we were roommates during our 3rd year of high school.
You're right.
That brings back memories. I told you to stop being so overly polite because it made you stick out in class. And yet, you never did.
After passing through the forest, we reach a desolate area with debris scattered about. Could this have been the outer wall that surrounded the research site? The entire thing has collapsed, and it's been overtaken by wild plant growth.
So this is the place.
I correlate what I see with the data about the site, and confirm that this place is where the combat testing ground had been. We passed through where the gates were and proceed further inside. We walked through the facility for a while when an old white dog runs up to us and barks. I feel as if the dog isn't barking at us as to warn or frighten us away, but it's more welcoming, maybe even greeting us.
A dog?
I try to match the dog to the data I have regarding Yakushima, cross-referencing appearance, attempting to match vocal recording.
Snowy?
Huh? Do you know this dog?
How's that dog still alive? Isn't that like 10 years? That's like forever in dog years.
No, not as such.
I quickly find a record of this dog. There's no doubt that this dog is Snowy, the same animal that my sister made friends with. He's still okay after all these years. How is he still alive? He's got to be an old man by now.
He appears to be the dog my sister became attached to in the past. It seems he can tell that I'm like her.
Huh?
Snowy wags his tail and comes over to happily nuzzle me. He appears to be welcoming me, though we'd never actually met before. I can't communicate clearly with him, the way I can with Koromaru-san. Still, his actions are easy enough to understand. I crouch down and gently pet
It
him.
would appear that this place and what happened here are part of my own roots after all.
What do you mean?
In the past, I thought that my ability to communicate with animals was just something that I could do. It didn't seem like the people at the lab had deciphered dog language, and even then, I doubted that such an ability was necessary for a weapon. I had thought it mysterious that I was capable of doing so, but it seems that my sister can do the same thing.
Huh. So are you saying that you inherited that function from Labras?
It's not really a function, per se.
I stop petting Snowy and stand up, before taking a sweeping look around the area. Piles of debris, both large and small, are scattered about. The early summer sun shines down upon
It's
us.
probably something that was slowly nurtured among the 5th generation units that were housed here. Behavioral traits, like having interest in things besides missions, get passed on. And then, interest in animals. And then, the ability to communicate.
I see.
After a long line of inherited system feedback, my sister gained that ability, and I, in turn, gained it from her. The reason I have a special rapport with dogs, out of all animals, is most likely because of that process.
Wow, that's pretty deep. If it goes that far, then you're right. It's not just some function that you were intended to have. It's more like a wish.
Yes.
I crouch down once more and and pet Snowy again. After that, I begin clearing away the mossy rubble that has been left unattended for so long. Snowy happily runs around the area that has been cleared of rubble.
Still, for the ones before Labrys who had hearts or wishes, it might be a bit sad that this place is left like this.
Just as Yukari-san says, the carelessly scattered rubble under this clear, beautiful sky only emphasizes the loneliness of this place. Snowy barks once and runs through a small hole in a passage blocked by debris, then barks again as if motioning us to follow him. We see a shimmering yellow-green light shining through the hole that he had passed through.
What's that?
I move aside more debris and make a hole large enough for a person to pass through. What we find on the other side is...
Oh. Wow, it's super pretty here. What is this place?
This is the arena where Labrys and her sisters fought. There's a tall cylindrical structure that looks like a greenhouse, reaching high above us. It seems like the area was once indoors, but the ceilings have long since collapsed, and the structure stands directly under the blue sky. The clear cylinder has literally acted as a greenhouse, allowing the area inside to grow lush green grass, trees, and vibrant flowers. Even birds and butterflies flit about inside. This place is something like a paradise out of a children's book. But these are the remains of the anti-shock chamber, where Labrys and the other units of our model had undergone battle tests.
There are many plants here that only grow far to the south of this latitude. This building's windows seem to have coincidentally formed a greenhouse.
I take a closer look and notice a large sword stuck into the ground in the center of the room. The unit that used this weapon, and as though it had been destroyed. The unit that used this weapon is thought to have been destroyed, but the sword remains here unchanged. It's her sword.
The number 024 is stamped into this. It may have belonged to a unit that fought here.
Oh, I see. It's kind of hard to believe that this place was once such a nightmare.
Yeah, 024 was the friend Labrys killed in the last story. Once such a nightmare. As far as my memories go, it's not wrong to say that this place was just as Yukari-san describes it. And the way this room is now, it may be a fitting and tribute to say to my sisters who fell here within this very chamber. The large blade here is more than half covered with a soft green moss, and small birds are using it as a perch.
Hey, I guess let's ask Mitsuru-senpai to keep this place like it is.
Yukari-san.
And why don't we bring everyone else here from time to time? Let's bring Labrys next time, too.
I nod. My power is your power. That's why I'll never forget you all. As the last of the anti-shadow weapons, I will fulfill my duty to protect my companions and my sister, protect humanity, and create a future with my memories within me. Hey, Lotus Prince, welcome to the stream. How's your day? I'm good. Just beat the last boss of the P3 story here, and we're going through the epilogue.
I'm glad I came here.
I feel happiness in the depths of my heart and take a step forward. I raise my voice as loud as I can so it echoes throughout this entire chamber.
Everyone, thank you.
The chirping of the birds and the sound of the waves echo on forever. A few days after the case was resolved, I stand before a grave site. The marker is still new and
We
clean.
finally met. I'm sorry it took me so long to come.
Some of my memories are those from another machine like me, Unit 024. She and I were the same production generation. Some of those memories are of a girl. Mitsuru-san and her people aided me in finding that girl and finding out who she was. The first word in her records, after her name, deceased. Mitsuru-san was apologetic when she told me about this, but I wasn't surprised. The girl in my memory had been in a hospital room. That's why, in my heart, I was kind of expecting things to turn out this way.
You know, there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to say, and I don't know where to start now. But thanks so much for giving me life.
No words come back to me from the gravestone. I didn't make it in time.
I have a younger sister, and I've got companions and friends too. Because you wished for it. I have a happy life now. But there's nothing I can do to repay you. Mommy, there's someone here.
As I was standing still, a boy approaches me and looks up with curiosity. A woman, apparently his mother, follows him and bows to me. She is holding a bouquet of flowers. It seems this family has come to visit this girl's grave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you, this girl's family?
Oh no, it's just my boy has the same illness as the girl who's here.
I look at the boy. He does seem thin, but he otherwise doesn't appear to be in poor health.
The girl here agreed to submit to a great many examinations when she was young. Because of that, the doctors learned a great deal about her disease. And it's thanks to her sacrifice that my little boy is still alive today. He can even go to school.
She tells me more about her son, and then explains that they come to visit the girl's grave to thank her. After they lay the bouquet on the grave, the boy and his mother stand silently for a moment. When they leave, I'm alone in front of the grave once more. She dreamed of being useful to the world, and that wish has come true. I know she would have wanted to see the results of how she helped people. But in the end, she never could, and I've
found something I can do. Hey, can I call you Mom?
I'll carry on your dream, my mother, and protect the world where all the lives you saved reside. Just as you wished for my happiness, I'll wish for the happiness of all humans, and will do what I can to protect them. I'll do it to the very best of my ability as a Shadow Operative. I was tearing up during that scene.
Miss Yamagishi, this is a spectacular feat. We've never had a second-year student receive the award for best paper at this school.
Thank you.
I received an urgent summons from my lab at college and found my professor there, openly praising me.
Already getting recruitment calls from labs and corporations, but I'd recommend that you devote yourself to studying abroad.
Abroad, you say?
I just happen to be friends with a professor who's searching for an assistant. If you wish, I can write you a letter of recommendation at once.
I hesitate a bit on how to respond to my professor's cheerful words. Ever since I entered the engineering department, things have become awkward with my parents. Though they still look pained when the subject of my not entering medical school comes up, perhaps they'll be impressed with me if I tell them I'm going to study abroad at a famous college overseas. But even if I were to leave Japan, if something were to happen to Mitsuru-san and the others, I'd show no hesitation in coming back here. Even if it wasn't for a case involving shadows. For example, if I was told they didn't have anyone they trusted to perform Aiga-san and Ladra-san's maintenance, I'd still feel the same. I have no intention of actually joining the Shadow Operatives, but I want to help out as much as I can until the organization's foundation becomes more secure. I'm not afraid of moving away from them, but considering what Mitsuru-san is trying to accomplish, there are lots of things that I can't help if I'm too help with if I'm too far. And
How about it, Miss Yamagishi?
I'm sorry, but I'll have to decline for now. If the time comes when I feel a need to study abroad, I'd like to ask for your assistance then.
like, nah, bye.
Yes, that's what I thought. Then I'll contact them at once and... wait, you decline?
Oh no! Classes are about to start. Please excuse me. Thank you for telling me about this.
Miss Yamagishi, wait! Hey!
I'm not staying here because I'm needed. I'm staying because I choose to do so. That's more important than taking a course that someone else has prepared for
I
me.
can study wherever I want, after all.
I joined the flow of students moving from class to class and hurry to my next class. Just leave him shocked in the teacher lounge. The early summer weather in Gekukon High School is refreshing after school. We're absorbed in chasing the ball, like always.
Not gonna happen. Whoa!
One of the players I'm guarding against is flying, and the game stops. Crap! Did I get a little too rough? I rush over to see how he's doing.
Sorry, are you okay? I'm fine. It wasn't a foul. That was a great tackle, Ken. You've been on fire lately.
Luckily, he doesn't seem hurt. I relax, then grab his hand and pull him up with a smile.
Well, we do have a match coming up soon. Isn't our opponent supposed to be a strong team? Yeah, you're right. All right, let's all put some more effort into this. Keep our spirits up. Yeah!
The sun has almost set, and it's about time to wrap up practice. I look around the school ground that the other team is finishing up. I can tell they're looking at someone standing. I can tell they're looking at someone standing in the corner of the schoolyard. Oh man, I didn't think she'd come here wearing that battle outfit of hers. That was certainly a choice. I guess I should have given more thought to where I suggested we meet up. I regret choosing this place a little bit. She'd stand out anywhere. I guess it can't be helped. I'm the one who called Mitsuru-san here. This is the first time I've seen her in person since that case ended. I'm well aware of how busy Mitsuru-san is, but I implored her to come here today. I'm starting to feel unusually nervous, but I make up my mind and take a few deep breaths before approaching her.
Hey! Who's that beautiful lady? Don't tell me she's Ken-kun's girlfriend!
What? No way. I'm so shocked. Doesn't she seem a little serious, though?
Mitsuru-san, thank you for coming all this way when you're so busy.
Don't worry about it. I am currently on a mission though, so I don't have a lot of time. I would like to speak with you for longer someday.
Oh, it's all right. This won't take long. I called you here so I could give you this today.
This.
I hand her a small silver badge. It's the official identification given to members of the Shadow Operatives. When she sees it, Mitsuru-san briefly looks surprised. She looks from the badge to my face, then swallows whatever she was about to say.
I'd like you to take it back for now. I don't need it. I promise I'll come get it again one day.
Very well. I will keep this for you.
That's right. I don't need it right now. Mitsuru-san accepts it without another word, but I bet that she respects my decision. Mitsuru-san's always thinking about us. I'm sure that my action speaks louder than anything I could have said to her, and she understands perfectly. This is how it should be. Thank you, Mitsuru-san.
Hey, Ken, let's get going!
A voice suddenly calls out to me from the school gate and breaks the silence between us. I look in the direction and see the rest of the soccer team, who have finished changing and are waiting there for me. It should be obvious that I'm in the middle of a serious conversation here, but that doesn't stop them. Well, I guess it can't be helped that they want me to hurry up. We just finished practice, and we're all hungry kids. It's only natural that their stomachs are growling. I mean, mine is too.
Hey, race to the wild duck! Last one there pays!
Well, I have to go. I hope you stay well until I see you again, Mitsuru-san.
Wild Duck is technically the Persona 3 version of McDonald's. In any case, since the burdens on my shoulder have been lifted, I quickly bow to Mitsuru-san before rushing off with my teammates. We still have the after practice wild dash to do. It's a famous tradition of the Gekkoukan Junior High soccer team. Then again, we started this tradition on our own. We consider it one lap as part of our practice, so I can't allow myself to lose here either.
Huh, he left.
But wow, don't you think Ken-kun's changed a bit lately?
Really? Like how?
For reals. He used to be all, I don't know, cold.
Good lord, voice acting on these girls.
But lately he's been in high spirits. It's like he learned how to be normal, right?
You're right. He does seem to act more naturally than before. I like it.
Normal's overrated. 3 years ago, we forged a bond through our long and severe battles. That bond is still very important to me. But if I let myself get too caught up in that bond, I'll end up missing out on things in my own life. I think I was able to change because I realized that. I sense that my bonds with the others has remained unchanged, but more than that, I've grown in myself as well, even if only a little. What's best for me right now is to spend my day doing what I can without rushing through life. What happens to me now will surely affect my future. That's what I've come to realize. And acting that way will be my way of fulfilling my duty that is left to me. Koromaru appears from the side street that magnificently runs past us. Koromaru has been showing up like this from time to time and racing up to the burger place. I remember thinking this during the recent battles, but even though Koromaru is quite old, he sure doesn't seem that way. I bet he's determined not to let his kids beat him either. Well, if he's challenging me, I can't just let him win without a fight. I pick up the pace, and it's after the white fury shape. After the white furry shape ahead of me.
acquired. Commencing capture now.
I guess.
I thought that I was well concealed in the crowd in front of the station, but Igus comes charging towards me. The people around me drew back, and people walking by stared dumbfounded. Not again.
It's time for your English 2 class.
I'm gonna be absent today.
Absence without Mitsuru-san's express permission will not be tolerated.
Also, he's actually wearing normal clothes.
Well, the class doesn't do roll call. If I pass the final exam, I'll get the credits I need. I've already mastered English anyway.
I've heard that some college classes randomly take roll. One cannot discount the possibility.
With that professor, it'll never happen.
You never know.
You stand out, so your absence will immediately be apparent.
How do I stand out? I'm not dressed for missions today.
I mean, my class has mandatory attendance. It's a lot, don't though.
In any case, you must prioritize your studies.
After the case had closed, I went back to college, even though, until recently, I still remember my Music 101 final exam. As a joke, the professor introduced himself to the lecture hall that day. Well, that's a good joke, I'm not gonna lie. After the case had closed, I went back to college, even though, until recently, I had been taking time off to go, on my training journey. The Mitsuru, had a hand getting me to go back. Annoyingly, I mean, thankfully, Agus has taken it upon herself to manage my college credits, which has led to situations like this. The moment I go off her radar, she suddenly shows up out of nowhere and drags me back to class. My attendance, classwork, study group, assignment submissions, exams. She has total control over my every move, and I don't even have time to train anymore.
Stop being so persistent, Igus. I told you I have plans today.
You are the same as always, aren't you? You both stand out a lot.
Kurosawa-san.
Kurosawa-san appeared out of the crowd with a resigned expression. Yes, I was here to meet him today. He's currently a detective with the Metropolitan Police Department, and is a trustworthy man who has been helping us in secret. Even now, he caught up. He caught on to the public safety department's moves before anyone else, and was able to warn us.
I wasn't told that you had class today. Should we postpone?
Oh, no, it's all right. Let go, Igus.
I see. So your plan was to meet with Kurosawa-san?
Yeah, I have something important I need to consult with him on.
That actually seems to be the case for once. I don't have much time to spare either, so why don't you hand him over to me for today, Igus?
If that is the case, then I understand. I will await your report later.
Aya says so politely, and she releases my arm and salutes Kurosawa-san. With that, she disappears back to into the crowd. I swear, she has been in a pest lately on purpose, and enjoys seeing my reactions. Oh well, I guess that means she's getting even more human-like. I've said this before. Ayas has become closer to human than any other robot character.
So, what did you want my help with?
Well, this might be a bit late to ask, but I want to have enough power in the police to protect the others from the outside.
So that's what this is about. Dealing with people from that side of the business is more trouble than fighting Shadow sometimes, you know?
Oh, I know. That's why I need power besides what I can do with my fists.
Kurosawa-san smirks in
I
response.
like the look on your face. That reminds me, you're old enough to drink now, aren't you?
Well, yes.
What's this? You don't like alcohol?
I mean, I'm old enough to drink and I don't.
No, alcohol and protein shakes go surprisingly well together.
God damn it.
Drinking with you is going to be tiring for a different reason.
Kurosawa-san looks amused for a moment. Yeah, my family has gotten me to try alcohol a few times. I've never liked it. I just can't acquire the taste. My taste buds are way too sensitive. Kurosawa-san looks amused for a moment and then turns and walks away. I follow him into the city. Mitsuru-senpai and I are walking through the city, which has suddenly become filled with summer fashions as long as the long holiday draws to a close. We've been going out together like this for a while, but when she wears clothes more appropriate for her age, Mitsuru-senpai looks even better than models. Heads turn to follow her wherever we go. Mitsuru-senpai doesn't seem fazed by this, though it's more likely that she doesn't have a clue she's standing out. It's a mystery how she doesn't notice. Yep, that would be Mitsuru in a nutshell. The only thing that appears to bother her is how she's walking.
I'm not comfortable in these clothes.
They look good on you, though.
Come on, you look good. And you know what they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
But doesn't such a frilly skirt interfere with how you walk?
Huh? Senpai, I know you wore a skirt as part of the Gekkokan High uniform.
A uniform is fine, since it's like battle attire.
Yes, a school uniform is totally like battle attire. I mean, they literally use the school. They literally use the school uniform as battle attire in the Persona game. So.
Battle attire, huh?
Hey, ladies, how's it going? Are the two of you looking for a good time? Why don't you join us and have some fun?
No, go away.
Would you mind getting out of the way? I'm trying to enjoy my day off with my friend.
Again. I mean, yeah, she stands out, but how many times have we been hit on just today?
Well, if not today, how about another time? Can I get your phone number? Maybe we could go out sometime.
You guys don't know who you're messing with.
Oh.
The man hitting on us touches my shoulder. This guy either has guts or he's really slow on the uptake. Either way, this isn't good at all. Mitsuru-senpai's arm flashes out like a snake and grabs the man's wrist.
Mitsuru-senpai, hold on!
Don't kill him!
I preferred if you kept your hands off my friend. I also believe it to be in your best interests if you left at once.
I'm okay. Geez, you guys better get going.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap! I'm sorry!
That's why she's the queen of executions. The guys who talk to us are scared off by Mitsuru-senpai, and they run for their lives. I'm happy that she protected me, but it's like she's seriously turning into an empress. Once more. No particular reason. She's the head of a special battle unit with the mission of exterminating shadows. I wonder if that environment is what's making things worse for her after all. I really need to help her with help her have some time to enjoy herself.
Senpai, let's go over there.
I take Mitsuru-san's arm and charge into the shopping mall. I'm pretty sure that guys like that won't follow us all the way into a store. After checking out some clothes and other accessories like normal girls in these busy holiday stores, we decide to take a break at a cafe terrace.
That was fun.
You're right.
I relax and enjoy the fun we had, and take another sip of my iced coffee. Mitsuru-senpai answered me absent-mindedly, and her tea is left untouched.
Senpai, you promised that you wouldn't think about the other day.
Yukari,
I know that it's impossible to keep it from getting to her. After all, this case, the case this time was all because of the Kirijo group's negative legacy. Mitsuru-senpai had taken a role of the leader of the Kirijo family to atone for her family's past. And yet, after being captured by the enemy, she couldn't take command of the situation. It may only be natural that she feels responsible for what happened. But even then, I can't be convinced that she needs to bear the weight of all that
there are
herself.
so many people here.
And there she goes again. I came here today thinking about giving her a piece of my mind. She keeps taking responsibility for everything and worrying about things all on her own. Still, I can't bring myself to say anything about it when I see the look on her face. I thought that maybe confronting her emotionally, like I had back then, would lessen the distance between us. But that would just be repeating what I'd done before. It'd be sad to have to resort to that again. I mean, we're best friends now, you know. As I try to figure out what to say next, all I hear is the bustle of the busy cafe.
See? It's Feather Pink. Wow, you're right. It's Reiko Kuchikuen. Hey, Feather Pink. Where are Red and the others?
Huh?
Suddenly, a little boy points at me. Everyone then turns around and at a shout, and the children walking past us make a wide circle around us.
No, you're mistaken. You've got the wrong person.
I hurriedly wave my hands in an attempt to disperse the crowd. Having a role that shows my face can be really inconvenient.
You're quite popular, Yukari. How does it feel to be a hero?
Huh? Well, I guess it's worth it since these kids are really into it.
Death must not be needlessly feared, but it must not be needlessly desired as well. Face it and fight, Featherman. Or so the line goes.
Senpai, why do you know that?
That's the opening line of the intro to Featherman Victory. That catchphrase comes up in every episode of the
I
show.
may be busy, but I still have time to watch a little television.
What? But why would you watch Featherman of all things?
Why wouldn't I? My best friend is one of the stars.
As I said, no particular reason.
I had never seen such a program before, but it's true. I did sense something from it. I feel that you were trying to help people, especially children, teaching them to avoid bringing harm into their lives.
Well, I guess that's how it is.
The protagonists of hero shows don't just punish evil. They protect those who are precious to them and give everyone the hope to live. I'm sure that these shows teach a lot of things to children too.
The same goes for Akihiko and Yamagishi, Aiga, Samada, and Iori as well. Every one of us is proceeding down their own path, in their own way. That's how I can concentrate on my own duties. The trust we formed will not easily be swayed. Isn't that right?
I can't help but sigh. I feel like I've been beaten instead. My best friend believes in me and is watching over me. Well, I should do the same to her, even though I get the feeling I got sweet talked somehow.
Yukari, what's the matter?
I guess I've been defeated today. Well, that's fine. Let's go to the next place.
Next place? You want to continue shopping?
Well, I don't have any idea when you'll be able to make time for me again, you know.
What if I promise to contact you every once in a while? Would that do?
It's a deal. But while we're here...
I tug on Matsuru-senpai and we resume our shopping. I'm not sure why, but I feel as if whatever had been bothering me had disappeared. Even before we could complete the follow-up investigation of the case that Minazaki caused, I was summoned by the public safety to the government office building. I would have liked to ignore this meeting, which is sure to be nothing more than an interrogation, but it's better that I go than for them to get their hands on Labras or Minazaki. Also, I want to make sure that no trouble comes to Yukari or Amada's daily lives.
I recognize your achievement in recovering Labras. Wasn't it your own blunder that led to you, the leader of your organization, being captured?
There are also reports that you involved underage civilians in this matter as well. What do you think your organization is?
If there were people there, then they must have acted on their own to protect their town and their companions. Also, with regard to the members of the auxiliary staff, the emergency suppression unit, they became concerned for me after my disappearance and came after me as individuals. That is all. It is absolutely unrelated to the Shadow Operatives.
You're just playing semantics.
Furthermore, when the second case occurred, the Shadow Operatives were forced to begin an investigation based on a lack of evidence. Since you were the ones who ordered the investigation, I believe you would know whether or not they were able to go on duty or not. Also, even though it may have been merely an intimidation tactic, I received a report that my people were fired upon during the incident.
I mean, that did happen.
I laughed it off at the time, since it's impossible that this organization could have been so stupid as to send my people into danger unprepared.
You little...
But as you pointed out, it was due to my own lack of preparedness that I was captured by the enemy. I will accept any kind of punishment for that.
The report says that your capture was nothing but a ruse, though?
Excuse me.
What is it? We're in the middle of an inquiry here.
I was ordered to bring these documents the moment they arrived.
The man who enters the room hands a binder full of documents to the men interrogating me. While they're distracted for a moment, the newcomer glances at me. I feel as if I know that man from somewhere. But what was that about?
What is this?
As you can see, it's the report from our undercover investigation of the Kirijo group.
You fool! These are not the kinds of details we asked for.
This deliberation is temporarily suspended. You will be notified of our further decisions at a later date.
Their sudden sourness makes me think that this case is coming to an end. But to think someone would be able to turn in a report that would instantly suspend an investigation from these sticklers, it would seem that there are some people in the public safety who do not respect their higher ups. Also, that undercover investigation report must have been made by Shirogane. It seems I'm in her debt. When I leave the conference, I see that the other Shadow Operatives have gathered.
Mitsuru-san!
What are you all doing here?
These guys insisted on at least trying to testify in person, since they failed you on the mission. I had no choice but to come too.
Seeing that our friend who had gone missing was immediately summoned to the government office on her return, we were worried it was a conspiracy. Indeed, as your friends, it's only natural that we'd rush to your side, because we are your friends.
I guess she's a sweet autistic child. You can see why she's my favorite character, right? I guess why are you speaking with such over-exaggeration? And what are Yukari and Iori doing here?
Yeah, we were all worried about you. After all, we're all your friends.
The best of friends. Yep. Yes, sirree.
Oh my goodness, it's contagious.
You realize I won't be able to stick up for you if they come down on you because of this.
It'll be fine. Look, I'm in the middle of a shoot right now.
I'm just out walking Koromaru.
I just happened to walk into the police department.
I'm just going out for a run, you know?
And again, just happened to go into the police department.
You're training, Junpei? You should have told me sooner. I'll come along.
And I see Akihiko's back out of the shirt. Apparently he can't wear shirts anymore. He's allergic.
That's okay. I mean, can't you see what we're getting at here?
Seriously, all of you?
I can't help but laugh with amusement. Though this makes me happy as their friend, I have mixed feelings as the leader of our organization. The higher-ups that give themselves away, the higher-ups that gave themselves away this time are only the tip of the iceberg. There must be many people in the police and in the political realm who don't think well of the Kirijo group. Those troublemakers will pounce immediately if we leave even the slightest vulnerability unguarded. But even then, the Shadow Operatives will continue to protect and serve. We won't let anyone be forced to be alone. We can create a world where everyone will have the strength to deny the fate of destruction.
Let's go.
Yes!
And we will continue moving towards the future for the sake of granting our wishes. The end. And that ends the Shadow Operatives. Completed the story mode from the P3 perspective. Yeah, so that ends the P3 story. As you can see, it did get a little samey towards the end, but the stories were very different, so we didn't have as much repetition this time. That said, there is the Adachi story, which came as part of the DLC for his character, and this version of the game includes all the DLC. I don't think I have time to do that right now. I will check out how long it takes, but I'll probably save that for next week. But yeah, I think this is a rather decent. This is a rather decent turnout before we get started on Persona 3 Reloaded. That said, we're probably going to be missing a lot of stuff even when we finish the game. I'm hoping they release all the stuff added to later versions in like DLC or something. Because like the playable epilogue became rather important. It explained a lot. And they can't ignore it because it's canon. One of the bosses from that epilogue appears in this game, and they made references to it. That run. There's Shadow Labyrinth, the only time we got to play her. Wow, that Iori laugh. Yeah, we'll get a lot of that in Reloaded. I guess proving how awesome she is. So many badass shots. When do we get side story with Kikuno, starring Kikuno, Alice? This must be answered. It must happen. Also, I wouldn't mind more stories featuring Labras. I really like Labras. I mean, I've started maining her. Show after he went all tsundere. And I love that shot over there. Junpei's walk, though. That is such a Junpei walk.
This show was brought to you by these sponsors.
Mm-hmm.